So quite often I get asked, what is my phone of choice? What's my favorite phone? And because it is nearing the end of the year, I thought I would post this video. My favorite phone, my phone of choice. And it's going to surprise a lot of you because yes, I am a big Xiaomi fan, but I'm not completely blind loyal to brands. No brands, in fact. But I do quite like Samsung phones. Now, my phone of choice is this right here, which is the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. And I'll explain why I ended up buying this one. So I had the Mi Max 3, I was happy with it, phenomenal battery life, the performance is good from the Snapdragon 636, the camera does take much better photos, it can take a very good photo, but the video quality, audio and video, when I first reviewed it, wasn't too bad from the microphones. Xiaomi came out then with further patches that destroyed the audio quality. They put on like a noise cancellation on there. I was always having a full gestures lag. I was getting frustrated with the phone. I got annoyed with it, I ended up selling it, mainly because of the audio and video, because I went down to New Zealand for 5 weeks. I wanted a decent camera, because the best camera that you have, of course, is the one on you. I could lug around my Samsung DSLR, which I'm currently shooting on, but I can't carry that in my pocket, and I can't have it with me all the time. So that's why I decided and opted for this, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. And I feel now that it's a phone that is often overlooked. Now, my reasons of getting this one here was the price of it too. I got a brand new, it's factory sealed Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus here from eBay for 519 euros. No, it's not stolen or anything like that. And the same goes for US, that they've had really good deals on this particular phone. So if you compare that, for example, to the Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 that I reviewed only about 3 weeks ago, that is selling for actually more than what I paid for this phone. And to me, that's a bit of a no-brainer. You go for this phone here. So I'll explain to you in this video why this is my favorite phone and why I'm currently using this now, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. So the S9 Plus has a very good build here. I do like it. There's no real problems with it. The only thing that I don't particularly like is having this glass back here. So it is very slippery, especially in winter when you've got cold hands. You go to pick this up, it just slides and slips around everywhere. And I do have, of course, the case for it, and I will show you that later on in the video here. So overall, build good. Yes, they relocated the fingerprint reader there, and the location of it is fine. However, it is a little bit slow at times. So I'm just going to lock the screen now, and I'll touch it. And you can see how long that takes, that it's not actually the fastest. Now, partly to blame could be the animations there. And same goes for face unlocking, which can be very slow. So I'll lock it now, unlock it. Okay, I've got my camera and stuff in the way, but look how slow this is. I mean, it's not even, no match. Okay, it didn't even pick me up. So not the best face unlocking, which for me was a bit of a surprise. I would have thought that Samsung would have got this tech down. No, it's not even going to pick me up. It's because my camera's in the way, but other phones will be able to unlock. So that is a little bit of annoyance. And the screen, 1440p, very nice display. They always have had nice displays here, Samsung. If you take a look at my S6 Plus Edge, this is one of my favorites. Still, the screen still in 2018 looks very nice. Really nice screen, this one. And of course, we've got the curved edge. You do get a bit of discoloration. You can see how the green is shifting out, so it shifts out a little bit. Same happens with the S9 Plus, but it's not as bad there. Now, this phone, of course, looking a little bit dated. Another reason why I don't like the glass rear is, look at that. Smashed it. I smashed it only after owning it for a couple of weeks. I dropped it, and it was like a little bit of pebble or a rock on the ground. Boom. Did that. And of course my S7, this is one of my other favorites too. Really like this phone just because of the size of it. It's nice and small. Battery life now after the couple of years I've had it is horrendous. Can't make it through a full day with this. I would have to charge it up at least once a day. Same goes for the battery in the S6 Plus. It's had quite a beating. S6 Plus Edge battery is only going to last about half a day. So not very practical at all. Good camera on this. And of course, even better with this phone right now. I'll show you a couple of samples here from my trip down in New Zealand. This is the reason why I got the phone really for the camera. So that 2x optical zoom does come in handy. I know other phones have that, but it has optical image stabilization where other brands normally don't have that, like the Xiaomi. You can see this shot here of my daughter on the swing. I think this is an amazing shot, this one. Really do like it. I mean, just look at how well everything has been exposed here. Look at the clouds. So the dynamic range here, the exposure, it's all good. Now you're probably thinking the colors look unnatural, a little bit oversaturated. You're partly correct there. It is spring, or was spring in New Zealand when I took the photo. There'd been a lot of rain, and everything does actually look super green, so that's why it's like that. But have a look at these other samples too. Very good camera on this, and it doesn't disappoint, so this is definitely good, I feel. Most of the time when you take a photo, it comes out 9 out of 10 times, whereas with my Xiaomi's, the Xiaomi phones are more hit and miss with their cameras. And to protect my phone, I do have the official case here. So this is the silicone case, and as you'd expect from a manufacturer, the manufacturer's case, of course, fits it absolutely perfect. So there's good protection for the cameras. Face down, the fingerprint reader, the cameras are not going to get scratched up. It does offer protection for the screen when it is face down because it has a raised lip on it. The best thing about this case is it also protects the buttons, but the main thing is it is very grippy. So in hand, it feels good. There's no real way you're going to drop that because it's got a nice grippy feel to it. It does attract, however, smudges. So the oils from your hands, you can see it's going to end up looking a little bit messy and dirty. That's the only real complaint. And the other is that, yes, those cases, they are quite expensive, the official ones. My version of the S9 Plus here is the Exynos one, so it's not the Snapdragon with the 845, which probably has better battery life. The performance, I haven't had any real issues with it. You occasionally see some micro stutters, and when you do see that, a little bit of lag is when you go and swipe, of course, over to the left. So this brings up here all your information there, and I wish I could actually disable this. You can't disable that. You can disable the Bixby button, so now when I tap it, it doesn't do anything, which is great. I don't accidentally launch Bixby. I'm not a big fan of Bixby. I don't particularly like it. I didn't like the move when they moved over to the Samsung Galaxy S8. I ended up selling that one. I was just so frustrated with it. The move from the S7 to the S8 for me was not really an upgrade, and it just disappointed me, especially for the price I paid for that phone when I got it from brand new. So when you have a look at things like the Geekbench scores, yeah, I mean, it posts a really, really good score. If you like your benchmark. For single core score, that is great. A multi-core score as well is not bad at all. And when we take a look at the multitasking performance, no complaints here. I don't see micro stutters with the multitasking. It tends to always be very quick, swapping between, going between your apps. That's not really a problem. I don't really have any issues with it killing off the apps there. A lot of the Chinese tech I review, some of those mobile phones, they tend to kill things off quite quick. This tends to hang around a little bit longer in the RAM, which is great. That aids our multitasking. You don't have to load things up as much there. Now, no full screen gestures. They don't have that yet, Samsung. Now, I don't know if they're going to bring that in with Android Pie. I haven't looked into that, so let me know down in the comments if they are. But I believe they're going to save that feature, of course, for their S10. And I'll also give you a demo here of Twitter, because sometimes they can really be quite slow with some phones. Loading that in, you get choppiness, but that is pretty quick for me, and I'm happy with the scrolling speed. It's not too fast, it's not too slow either. I feel that overall decent performance out of this. Now, one other area that does not disappoint, that is the loudspeakers. So they're AKG tuned. We have one downward firing one right here. Type-C port, of course, is there, and 3.5mm headphone jack, which is good to have. A lot of phones are dropping that. Hopefully the S10 is going to keep it. Output quality from that jack is good. No real complaints. It's not the best I've heard, but it's overall decent. And then, of course, we do have a secondary loudspeaker in the earpiece. So I'll give you a sample of that now. So you can hear from that they're reasonable speakers. They don't have a huge amount of bass. Some phones will probably win there with a little bit better bass. Now, one thing you probably noticed too is look how deep the blacks look. So you've got the bezel at the top and bottom bezels, and they almost blend in with the blackness of the screen. That is your typical Super AMOLED panel, but even on some AMOLED panels and Super AMOLED that I've looked at on other phones, the Samsungs always tend to look a little bit darker there, and I think it's to do with the tinting they use on the glass, because when you move it at an angle, like now, you can just see a little bit of a gray coming into it, but it still looks very dark and always tends to look a lot better than other manufacturers. And one feature that is certainly overlooked a lot and definitely underused, I believe, by a lot of people that wouldn't even bother with this is Samsung DeX. So you can plug this into a monitor, into a TV, and you have yourself a laptop, basically like a laptop experience, like a computer, and you can surf and browse and connect up Bluetooth keyboards, mice. You can use the DeX dock as well, of course. You can plug things into that. And then you have yourself a PC, and actually the performance of it is pretty good. So you can multitask, you get the desktop environment. I've got YouTube right here. You can see that video before that I loaded up with the audio sample, Chrome, and even go through your dialer and whatnot. That's all there. And answer WhatsApp messages. That's handy if you actually take advantage of it. Okay, so for my personal needs, my choice, remember this is my choice out of all the phones that I have reviewed. This does not necessarily mean it is the best phone out there. I feel the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus is worth a look, and even the S9 too. If you're into a new phone and you don't want to spend the like 800, 900 or 1000 US when the new S10 comes out, I feel this is worth a look because the S10 is going to be a little bit better. They're going to have smaller bezels as we've seen from the rumors so far. It's going to have cutouts for the front-facing cameras. It'll have a slightly better rear camera, hopefully a larger battery. So the battery life is probably my biggest con with this phone. When I first got it, I almost was going to put it back in the box. I had it with it. I thought this is not going to make it through a full day. I was so used to my Mi Max 3 with really good battery life that this one was a huge shock. But luckily the battery performance did improve. So battery life increased on about the 4th or 5th charge. I could finally make it through a whole day without having to worry about charging this. When I first got it, first day was really bad, second day as well was bad. I had to just charge it, plug it in and charge it all the time. But now I go through a whole day and I have normally around about 20 or 30% left. Pop it down on my wireless charger, and then in the morning, of course, pick it up, 100% charge, and I know I'm good and I'm set for the day. So the other things that I don't particularly like about this phone is it has very slow face unlocking. It's not the fastest compared to, say, the Xiaomi's OnePlus 6. I'll do this now. It takes up to 2 seconds, and sometimes it just cannot see my face to unlock. Fingerprint reader on the rear too. Hold it up to the camera and I'll touch it now. You can see that's not actually the fastest out there. So it's not going to win any awards for the fastest fingerprint unlocking or face unlocking there. The OnePlus 6 is so much faster. The Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 as well. Way faster there. That is really good. The other thing too is the front-facing camera. Sometimes it's out of focus. So it's a good camera when it's in focus, but it is hit and miss. The rear cameras, they're really good as I showed you those examples there. Really do like the performance of these of the cameras. That's the main kind of reason why I got this phone. The overall build quality, everything, there's so much to like about it, which is why it is my pick for 2018. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and I do hope to have some more upcoming videos. I'm waiting on possibly a couple of Huawei's flagship phones, the Mate 20X and the Mate 20 Pro, maybe, possibly. I could be featuring those in the channel, and I do hope to get hold of them. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.